and got scholarships to different colleges. And when I've always wanted to go into Imagineering.
You just casually mentioned you got scholarships to different colleges?
Well, because you had to submit portfolios. And being that I came from, middle-class background in Louisville, I was offered scholarships of like Pratt and Parsons and different places. And I came up here and just went to school and came out and ended up meeting someone who worked on Saturday Night Live.
One thing led to
and one thing led to another.
Like everything else.
Yeah.
Somebody opened the door, somebody found out you had talent. And, what are some of the main projects you worked on for Disney that I would have heard
Well, mostly it's with the cartoons. I worked on Doug. I worked on a lot of PB&J, Stanley. Doug started actually out with Nickelodeon. And it all started because of a person I hooked up with that, again, was working on Saturday Night Live. I did an animation piece with him.
Right.
And then he got hired to work with a friend who created Doug. And then it just kind of started.
Did you have something to do with the Muppets, one of the Muppet movies?
I worked on Muppets Take Manhattan.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
I just watched that 2 weeks
That
ago.
was a long time ago. I worked actually in the studios in Queens. They had just built them.
The storyboard? What did you do?
Yeah, storyboard work for it. And that's basically where you're just planning, showing the director what their next moves are going to be. So you sit there with a script and you're actually scripting out what the person who's going to watch the movie is going to be seeing in the most efficient way possible.
So you're creating the cartoons out of the scenes? Is that what it is? Because I've seen these Disney specials where they show how they've got the storyboards and all the executives are sitting around and.
Right, and that's basically how they're like determining what the actual finished product is going to look like.
Now, how do you go from that to marketing and advertising and I know you talk about you do party favors and things like that.
Because I started out when I first got out of college, I was a freelance illustrator. And I was taking my stuff around to all kinds of places. I did work for New Line Cinemas. I was doing work for Macy's. I was doing work for just all kinds of stuff. And ended up doing storyboards and advertising campaigns and for advertising agencies. And so I kind of got to know that side of it also before I went into animation. As a freelancer, you get involved in soup to nuts.
Where does your business come from? Where does that end of the business come from? The freelancing business and not so much the party favor business, not the marketing, not the advertising, but where you're needed for illustrations. Yeah. Well,
when I was going into school, they had the work a placement center, where they would post all kinds of jobs. People would call in that wanted students for illustration. And I kind of got the hang of how to go in and just make something happen with someone you meet. At the beginning, it was me calling up places that I saw posted in the placement center. And then as you get more out there, as you get more connected with people who use the kind of work you do, it just kind of like feeds on itself.